Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. I want to continue my series of ranking past editions of Eurovision today. I already did 2023 and 2022 and all the winners of Eurovision. Thank you for watching that. Today I'm doing Eurovision 2021, and it's going to be even harder than the previous ones because this is without a doubt my favorite edition of Eurovision when it comes to the songs and performances. Hosting, I think 2016 takes the cake, but this was such an amazing year. So many incredible performances, great songs that I still listen to, some of them at least. And I don't know whether it's because we just came out of the pandemic or were almost out of the pandemic, and having a show like this just felt amazing. And there was, of course, a year break because the 2020 contest was cancelled, but it just felt like such a amazing moment for me as a Eurovision fan to watch that show and just love a lot of the performances. Let's get to it. And I'm starting with one that I didn't quite love. My own country, Germany. I Don't Feel Hate by Jendrik. I don't really have to talk a lot about this. Is going to the bottom 6 because I'm not going to say the cliche sentence with that song and say I do feel hate when I listen to it, but it tries to be funny, but it doesn't quite get there. It's also not catchy or doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities, so we did deserve to get 0 points from the televote that year. Belgium, Hooverphonic. Really loved the classiness, the professionalism that they showed. The song is really spooky in a way. It could be part of a horror movie or like a mystery movie. Really cool. And the staging I like quite a lot as well. I can't stay in the top 10, I don't think, because so many of the songs that year I did really love a lot. So I'll put it in the top 15, but kudos for a great performance and song. Spain. This is going to be a bit controversial. I understand why it ended up where it ended up. The high notes were just a bit too high, maybe, and the staging was a bit too middle of the road and maybe overdone even a little bit. But I loved this song when it came out. I love a ballad in Spanish, and I am going to put it in the top 10 despite the performance and despite the fact that I understand why people didn't like it. But the song itself, I just like. I can't really explain it. It's very subjective. Of course, this is my personal opinion. If I put something in the bottom 5, it doesn't mean that it is objectively bad, just according to my taste and my opinion. Then we get to Greece. It's a bit of a difficult story here with me and that song because I just cannot connect to it. I think it seems dated, the whole performance, and the way that they teased it also as one of the best things that has ever happened on a Eurovision stage. And then you have these half men dancing, and the staging is very purple as well. I couldn't really connect to it. I thought it was dated, and that's why I'm putting it in the top 20. I know lots of people loved it, but for me, it was just not quite there. France, it's such an amazing performance. Great staging. The song itself is not necessarily the greatest song ever, but she performs the hell out of it. She puts all of her emotion, everything, the drama into this performance. Vocally, it was quite good. And as I said, the staging, the camera work was just world class. Perfect performance, and it did deserve to come second, and I really like it. United Kingdom. Now, people were quite surprised that this came last. I wasn't, because it's not... When you see the lineup of songs, every single one has something special that attracts your attention. This one was a very middle-of-the-road pop song, doesn't really bother you, but then it gets this staging with the 2 trumpets that didn't make much sense, and his outfit wasn't good, and the whole performance just wasn't great. So this goes next to Germany in the bottom 6. Lithuania, I know that lots of people love this. I was a bit less in love with them than the general public, I guess, or the general Eurovision fans, but I still see that it's a fun, engaging, cool performance, a very catchy song as well. I did prefer their song in 2020, but still, it was a very good performance. Then we get to Måneskin, Zitti Buoni from Italy. This is my favorite Eurovision song of all time. It gives me power every time I listen to it, whether that's at the gym, or on the way to work, or on the way back from work, or on a bad day that I'm feeling bad. And I put this on and I just feel power and energy, and it's just amazing. I have listened to this song over 700 times according to some statistics, and the lyrics are amazing, different. The structure is different. It isn't a verse chorus structure. There are different aspects to the song that make it interesting, and the performance, of course, is just so sexy and so out there and edgy and amazing, and they definitely won for a reason, and they are one of the biggest bands in the world right now, also for a reason, because they're just so damn good. I really, really love that song, that performance, and the band as well. Then we have Moldova. There is nothing that I can see in that song that makes me like it. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry. It kind of annoys me quite a bit. Also, just adding the longest note in Eurovision history just to have something to say doesn't make me like the song more. Sorry. And sorry. I can't find anything very redeeming about this performance and song. Tusse with Voices, very standard middle of the road song, doesn't bother me, but also doesn't excite me. So I'll put this in the top 20, I think, for now. Portugal, also not that exciting, but I really like his voice. I like the performance that they did. I don't really like that it's in English. I would have preferred a song in Portuguese from Portugal, as they usually do. But it's a sweet little song, and he performed it really well, so I'll put it in the top 15 for now. Then the Netherlands. I mean, great that they had a song in Surinamese. Really cool performance as well. The song itself isn't really catchy and doesn't draw me in a lot, but still fun to watch the performance. Let's put it in the top 15 for now, but I might still change that. Albania, good performance, good vocal performance, but the song is just something that we've heard 100 times before, especially from Albania. Kind of woman with a very impressive vocal performance, and that just doesn't do the trick for me anymore. So I'll put it in the bottom 6, even though it's a good performance. But as I said, a lot of songs that year were really, really good. San Marino, I was really surprised that this didn't do better, because it's just such chaotic fun and such a good song too. It's a very catchy song. I think adding Flo Rida was kind of unnecessary. She would have carried it on her own. She's a really fun personality, I think. Maybe I wouldn't want to be around her 24 hours a day, but fun. So I'll put it in the top 10, because it's just a song that I still listen to as well, because it's just good. Serbia, I love how they unapologetically just do what they do. Love what they do. Amazing vocal performance by Sanja Vucic. I hope she comes back at some point, solo or with someone else, because she is a vocal force, and I just love her Eurovision attitude as well. She sang all of these past winners. She's a real fan, and she's just really, really good as well. And it's a catchy song. It puts a smile on my face seeing that performance. I always think of Graham Norton's comment that hairdressers apparently already opened in Serbia. Lots of choreography as well. Just so fun to look at. And putting that, top 5. Definitely. Then we have Bulgaria. Another middle-of-the-road ballad. I like her voice, and lots of people love this, but it was just a bit too sad and too... The whole thing with the picture and the sand, it all seemed a bit too performative to me and kind of put a distance between me and the song emotionally. So I'll put it in the top 15 for now, but it might actually go a bit lower later on. Sorry. Norway, middle of the road pop song again, not bad. Doesn't bother me, but the performance, I don't get it. I don't understand why he's in Wings. I know there's a backstory, but it was just a bit overdone and too much, and I'll put this in the bottom 6. Sorry. Iceland, Daði Freyr. I mean, the song that they had the year before was much better. They could probably have won with it. This was a great song still. And just this nerd pop performance with all the references in the staging. This whole band, I guess we can call it, or him and his backings, just you see that they're friends, that they're nerds, that they like to play board games probably like I do. I can relate to all of it. And the lyrics are really cute, and the song is also kind of catchy. So really well done, Iceland, and I'll put it in the top 10, and really happy for the result that they got as well. Now, Manija, this is the last Russian entry probably for a while that we'll see at Eurovision, and isn't it cool that it's her that performed the last one, because she criticized the government, she has criticized lots of societal norms as well, and the song itself is such a power anthem to women to do what they want, to live their life as they want to, and it's great. I love the background with all the women on the video screen as well. It has hip-hop elements. It's in Russian. There's lots of cultural references as well. So a lot of things that I really, really like. And for that reason, I'll put it in the top 10. And she is just such a charismatic performer also. The things she can do with her facial expressions are just amazing. Ukraine, I mean, what a year. You have Måneskin, and then you have also Goa and Shum. This is another one of my favorite songs in Eurovision history. The way it just accelerates, below Måneskin, but still an amazing song. And I would have loved this to win some other year, but they had to choose the year that Måneskin was there and won. The way it accelerates throughout the song, the way it is just so different, but also incredibly catchy. The kind of thing you wouldn't hear on a mainstream radio station. The kind of thing why I love Eurovision is a song like that. The performance was just so well done with the sun rising at the end and the grains, lots of references to Ukrainian culture. And the lyrics apparently are also quite interesting. So I love watching that performance. It just fills me with a lot of joy watching it. And I think a lot of people agree. It's, I think, almost always one of the most watched performances on the thing that the official Eurovision channel does. So really, really great, and adds to the amazing year that 2021 was. Then we have Finland, Blind Channel. This isn't my kind of music, and that might surprise you after what I said about Måneskin, but this is a bit less classy than Måneskin. It's a bit more mainstream when it comes to these kinds of rock entries. I love that there was a rock entry. They performed it with a lot of verve and energy, but it's just not my cup of tea, so I'll put it in the top 15 for now. Malta, I can kind of appreciate as a good pop song. She has an amazing voice, of course, and is a good performer, but all of this kind of screamed trying to compose a song that can win Eurovision, with the message about self-empowerment for women, with the whole structure of the song as well, and the performance. They just tried everything to win Eurovision, and sometimes that's exactly what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to, like Måneskin, like Goa, in a way also Barbara Pravi, just do what you want to do, what is your artistic vision, and people will like it or they won't. And here I think she didn't have a lot of say in the staging and the performance, so that's something it's kind of hard to rank because it's, but I'll put it in the top 15 and I'll put Bulgaria in the top 20. As I said, that it might still go down a bit, Bulgaria, because it is a good song, a catchy song, but all of this background kind of makes it difficult to love the song, unfortunately. Then we have Cyprus. Again, middle of the road pop song, doesn't bother me, doesn't excite me, so I'll put it in the top 20, but ahead of Greece, I would say. Switzerland, John's Tears, amazing vocal performance. This should be a song in a national language, great vocal performance, a ballad that I should love, but there is just something subjectively that I cannot connect to 100%, but I do really appreciate how good of a performance and an artist he is. So I'll put it in the top 15, but it's not enough to get in the top 10 or the top 5, especially in a strong year like this. Israel, bit like Cyprus, middle of the road pop song. Doesn't excite me, doesn't bother me. The song she had the year before, Ficker Libi, was much, much better than this. They kind of did everything they could with a revamp and made it better, but in the end, it's still middle of the road pop. So, and Matahari, same. I'll put the two, Norway and Azerbaijan, next to each other because they kind of were in a bit of a relationship. Also middle of the road, but it annoys me a little bit. The Matahari. I love Cleopatra. Cleopatra would have been in my top 5. But Matahari, not so much, unfortunately. I just zoomed in a bit more so you can see a bit more of it. And you can see that I'm running into some problems. I have to switch some things up, not too much. Top 5, Italy, Ukraine, France, and Serbia. Yes, but I need one more. And that's probably going to be Iceland, because it's such a fun song. And then I need one more in the top 10. And that is going to be not Finland, not Belgium, not Portugal, not the Netherlands. That's difficult because Switzerland, because of his vocal performance, even though it's not one of my favorite songs, but it doesn't have the backstory of Malta, otherwise it would probably have been Malta. Then in the top 20, we have Bulgaria, Cyprus, Israel, Greece, and Sweden, all very mainstream, middle-of-the-road pop entries, so that makes sense. And in the bottom 6, Azerbaijan, Norway, Albania, UK, and Germany and Moldova. Germany, Moldova in the bottom, correct. Albania is ahead of these two. And then I think that's it. It's the top 15, Malta, Finland, Belgium, Portugal, Netherlands. Yes. That is my ranking for the Grand Final of Eurovision 2021. I'm guessing that you have some opinions about this. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your top 5 is, what your bottom 6 is. And then subscribe to see my ranking of Eurovision 2019, all of the other videos that I'm going to do. And then I'll see you for my next one. See you then and bye-bye.